Hey everybody, welcome back to our third video in our first part of our state spreadsheet mini project. And this time we're going to start letting the spreadsheet do some work for us. Okay, so let's look at our instructions and then we're going to go back to full screen. Alright, so it says over here, actually over here on our instructions, it says add 2 more column headers. So student/teacher ratio or student per teacher ratio and total state expenditures. So let's come over here and add those headers. So notice I'm up here in row 1 where my headers go, and I'm just kind of tabbing over, arrowing over to get to the next column. So in E1 is where I'm going to enter student/teacher ratio, and that just means student per teacher ratio. I'm going to arrow or tab over to F. Oh, look what happened with my column E. Look there. I need to expand that so that I'm not overlapping into F. Again, I'm going up to my letters, getting that double arrow, clicking and just dragging over till I'm past ratio. Okay, now I'm back in F, and I'm going to enter total state expenditures. Okay, and I'm going to enter out of that. Notice that one's a little too big for that column 2. I'm going to come over here, expand that one. Another quick trick: if you double click while you're there, it will automatically jump to the end of wherever it needs to go. Just another quick tip. Okay, so now I'm not going to look for student per teacher ratio on the spreadsheet where I was getting the information before. I'm actually going to use the spreadsheet to calculate this for us. But before I do that, let's go back over here. Let's go to full screen on our spreadsheet so we can see this more easily. And I want to format this data so it looks nicer, looks easier to read. If I just look at this, it's hard for me to tell, is that a million, a billion, 100,000, something like that. Without the commas, it's hard for my brain to figure it out. So I want to put the commas in there. So I'm going to click on B. That's going to highlight the whole column, so it's going to affect everything in that column. And I'm going to go up to Format. Okay, I'm going to click Format, then come down to Numbers, and all I'm going to do is just click on Number. Okay, notice it's going to put in some commas for me where they should go and a decimal point, but I don't really care. I don't have a fraction of a student enrolled, so I don't need the decimals. So I'm going to get rid of those decimals. If I come up here, I can add or decrease the number of decimal places. So by clicking that, so if I click this one, it expands the number of decimal places. If I go that way, if I click this way, it decreases the number of decimal places, and I just want to get it down to a whole number. Okay, so that looks real nice right there. I'm going to do the same thing here under C. Again, click on the letter. It highlights the whole column. Come up to Format. Go down to Number and just click on, I can never get it there, click on Number. It's going to give me a couple decimal places, and I'm going to get rid of those decimal places just by clicking that twice to go down to the whole number. Now my next one, per pupil expenditures, that was about money, if you remember. That's the amount of money we spend on average on each student. So that's like currency. So I need to change that to like the dollar sign. Well, look, I have a little easy dollar sign format as currency right there. I can go to Format and go down to go down to Number and then find currency over here. But I have a shortcut right up here in my toolbar, and I can just click on that. It gives me my dollar sign and then my commas where they should go, decimals where they should go. I don't care about the cents. If you had, smaller numbers, you might care about the change or the cents, but I don't. So I'm going to get rid of those, again, just by clicking that decrease decimal. Okay. All right, there we go. Now my numbers are nicely formatted. I'm ready to let the spreadsheet do some calculating for me. So first thing I need to do is click where I want that number to go, and I want it to go right there. And to start a calculation, I always have to start with the equal sign. And that's not the equal sign. I have to start with the equal sign. There we go. I have to start with the equal sign. That tells the spreadsheet that I'm going to do a formula or calculation. And the formula I want to do, and this is on your instruction sheet so you can go back and look at it, is the number of students divided by, that's what that slash means, divided by the number of teachers. So where is my number of students? It's right there. Okay, there's my number of students, and I'm just going to simply click on it. I'm going to click number of students, the cell that has my number of students on it, and the cell reference is B2. Notice it puts B2 right in there. And then I'm going to just use that same symbol, the slash, okay, just like I have in my header. I'm just going to type in the slash, and then it says teachers. So I'm going to go over to my teachers. I'm just going to click on teachers. Boom, there we go. Okay, so I have my B2 or whatever is in B2, that 5 million students, divided by slash divided by the number of teachers, whatever's in C2. Okay, and then I just have to click enter, and I don't get a formula anymore. I get an actual number. I get a reference, but that's not a pretty looking number. Okay, it's a really long decimal looking number. So how do I get rid of all those decimal points? I don't really need that many decimal points. I can, maybe 1 decimal point is all I want. So all I need to do is click back there and then just decrease the decimal by clicking it until I get back there. And notice, check this out. If I go, look, it's 14.49. If I decrease it enough, it automatically rounds it for me. Wow. Okay. So it's following all those nice math rules that I've learned it knows how to do automatically. All right. There we go. Going into the next. There we go. Sorry. Clicking off there, going into the next cell, and it leaves me with my number. Okay. Total state expenditures. Let's do that one real quick. Okay. I have to start with the, if you said equal sign, I hope you did. That's what I got to start with when I'm doing a calculation. It's going to make a guess as to what I want, but that's not what I want. Okay, so it guessed wrong. So that's fine. I can just simply enter in what I need. Total state expenditures is going to be the number of students times the amount we spend per student. Okay, so the number of students is right over here. I'm going to click there. Again, tell it what number I want. Now the multiplication symbol is the asterisk, so I need to find that on my keyboard, and that's going to be Shift 8. That's that little star or asterisk symbol, and then that's going to be my multiply, and then I'm going to click on my per pupil expenditure right there. So it's my number of students times how much we spend per student is going to give me my total state expenditure, or the total the state spends. And then all I have to do is click enter. Okay. Now this one didn't give me any decimals to it, so I don't have to worry about that. But check it out. We can figure out, because of the number of students and the average number we spend per student, that Texas spends roughly $53 billion for education. Okay. Or we spend that much in Texas, I should say. We get the money from various places. But I can go down to my next cell then, and I can go over to Oklahoma. I can set up my formula. Remember, start with the equal sign, then create your formula, hit enter to get your information. If you get a bunch of decimal points, decrease your decimal. Okay, to go down to 1 decimal place is plenty. Okay, and then get your total state expenditures and get those for all of the states. All right, have fun with that, and we'll see you back here for the next video when we get into part 2.